All right, guys, today's video, how to stop binge eating. And before I get into it, though, I want to do a couple shout outs, so bear with me here. Okay, so please scroll down a little bit, and I want to, just ask you guys, thank you so much for watching my content, but please go ahead and subscribe and like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, go check me out on social media, give me a follow, shoot me a message, write a comment. I really appreciate you guys watching. I've been getting tons of views. Not everyone has been following though, so I want to definitely get that number up. We're almost at 100 guys, so hopefully this gets us there. And yeah, I mean, I'm extremely grateful. Listen, I cannot wait. When I get the 100, I'm definitely going to celebrate. I like to celebrate my small wins. It's huge to me. It might not be for you guys, but yeah. Also, if you actually click into the caption of this video, I have a private paid school community. Go check that out. Basically, it's for people that were basically in my situation. So a couple years ago, I'm 29 now, but when I was earlier in my 20s, uh, I was making six figures in corporate. So I was blessed enough to get myself to that point, which I know not a lot of people are able to reach, but definitely there are people out there that make it happen. And to be honest with you, I don't know, like it wasn't that much. I still felt broke. You see what I'm saying? And I was like, man, especially like for bachelorhood, I guess it's all right, but when you like think about family and stuff like that, getting married and being a sole provider and having children and stuff like that. In my case, I'm the sole provider. I have a wife, I have a child, and I also take care of my parents. So yeah, man, 100K, whatever, six figures doesn't cut it, man. So I was literally, as I'm working in corporate, I'm trying to figure out like what can I do, trying to, join expensive gyms to get around other people. I'm joining courses, programs, reading, all types of stuff, just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks. And I've done all the work for you pretty much. And in the actual community, I have a course in there, and I talk about real estate investing, credit, business investing, stuff like that, and how I was able to scale my network like really fast and get myself out of the whole rat race and corporate life and stuff like that. So go check it out. Well worth the money. A lot of value in there. Okay, guys. And then shout out to our sponsor, Credzly.com. Credzly.com offers credit monitoring, credit builder loan account, rent reporting, identity theft insurance, and so much more. Go check them out. But yeah, let's talk about binge eating. So this is something I personally definitely struggled with. And man, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. When I was younger, I definitely, I would say like around high school, I definitely, went through a lot of stress and stuff like that with my family, just stuff, whatever, unfortunate circumstances and whatnot. And it was funny because in high school, like I wasn't like a bad kid. I wouldn't say like I didn't drink, I didn't smoke like the other kids were. I did go to parties and whatnot. I had friends. I was pretty social. I worked a lot though in high school. I played some sports here and there or whatever, but yeah, mostly it was just like go to school and work. But especially later when I got a car and I started driving, I definitely did start uh, going to parties, being more social, this and that, right? But like for example, there would be other kids and they would be obviously getting drunk and stuff at these parties. They would be trying drugs and doing all types of stuff. I was not like that. I was not on that type of time at all. And it was funny, like a lot of these kids later they ended up, that was like their way to relieve stress, whether they were fighting with their, partner, girlfriend, whatever, and they're trying to relieve some stress. They would want to go get drunk or smoke weed and this and that. And yeah, man, these bad habits obviously followed them into adulthood. And I'm not gonna lie to you, it was probably around that time in high school myself where anytime I would get stressed, I would stress eat. and that, and I would binge eat and stuff, right? And the other thing is, I'm not gonna lie to you guys here. I'm gonna try my best to be as open as I possibly can. But as I got older, definitely way out of high school and stuff, but I even started dabbling with weed and marijuana and stuff like that, and that definitely didn't help with binge eating, man. It definitely got me more into that whole uh, whatever bad habit. And that's why I don't do any. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do anything like that, guys. I don't do any of that stuff anymore. And um, yeah, it's funny. The last thing that actually I was able to defeat was actually the binge eating. So yeah, I'm just basically telling you guys how it actually turned out, how binge eating became so big for me. And the crazy thing was, I was very active. I would go to the gym every day. So like, yeah, I would eat my butt off, but like, I had a high metabolism. Okay, worked out every day, very active. So it didn't really show much. So I didn't really think it was that bad. But also, it's like, you're really frying your dopamine, and on top of that, you're building a really bad habit. Imagine smoking cigarettes for 20 years straight, 30 years straight. Do you think that that person is going to be easily able to quit? Most likely not. So the same thing goes if you binge eat every single night for a decade. You see what I'm saying? And for me, I was a nighttime snacker for sure. But I come to realize that it's not because you're hungry. It's more so because um, you're going through mental stuff. It's definitely more of a mental battle, is what I'm trying to say, I guess. So I want to talk about some tools you can use to stop. And this is literally stuff that I do myself, okay? So I've talked about this before, but if you guys are brand new to this, I actually track my fasts. So I fast, first of all, right? And I started doing like 16-hour fast, then I did 18 hours, then I did 20, then I went up to, 23 hours a day. I've done 3-day fast, 2-day fast and stuff like that, right? So obviously, like, I'm talking about months of progression. And this definitely helped me like really shrink my appetite. But then there would still be like little binges here and there. And first of all, I was able to lose a lot of weight doing the fasting. Okay, I use Fast. What is this? It's a fasting tracker app, Fasty. So, anyways, yeah, great app, Fasty, and also great method, fasting. But obviously, if you're struggling with binge eating, and plus, when I say binge eating, I'm talking about like once a day, because that basically was me. I would binge eat at night. But it's kind of remarkable that I was able to go from binge eating every night to just fasting. And yeah, so I definitely came a long way. And I'm going to tell you guys some stuff, all right? One of the things that I like to do is I like to meditate. And I'm going to tell you why meditation is key here. Because meditation, essentially, when you're meditating, like I do guided meditation, I use Medito app. And all it really is you're doing breath work. Okay, so like literally the prompt will tell you, sit, uh, keep your back straight, sit up, close your eyes, get comfortable, right? Take some deep breaths, okay, inhale and then hold your breath and then exhale, all right, stuff like that. And it basically teaches you that, like, okay, you're supposed to be not thinking, you're supposed to not think, you're supposed to not have any thoughts. And it's funny, you're not having any thoughts, but all these thoughts keep coming to your head, and you realize that these thoughts aren't even your own. And I'm going to give you the prime example. You will literally say, oh, I need to lose weight, I'm fat. Damn, my clothes are tight, I need to lose some weight. But then the same you, the same person, the same brain, later, a couple hours later, oh man, let me get a double cheeseburger, some cheese fries, this and that, whatever, right? Milkshake. Do you see what I'm trying to say? It's literally the same body, the same voice, the same brain. And that really taught me that, oh, not all these thoughts are yours, or we actually do have different parts in our brain, right? That signal different things. Um, and it's just that, obviously, like sensible, the sensible part of your brain is essentially telling you, hey, man, you've gained a lot of weight, you let yourself go, your clothes are getting tight, you don't feel good, you don't like the way you look. And then the dopamine part of your brain is like, nah, let's go get that food. Let's get that dopamine hit. Literally, you see what I'm trying to say? Anytime you're trying to break a bad habit, it's so crazy. Like how you sway between the two. Like, you know damn well you're not supposed to be doing this, but then you're constantly pulled into it. So what meditation essentially does is it makes you better at decision making. Okay. And it makes you also realize that not all these thoughts are your own. And it also makes you realize that you don't have to react to all these thoughts. It's totally fine to just observe and let the thought pass. Okay, because it's not going to stay there. So you see how powerful that is, because you'll have the urge, you'll realize that it's an urge, and that an urge is really just a thought that comes to your mind. You're going to think about it, you're going to realize that, oh, okay, this is what that is. This is the urge, this is the thought of me doing the thing that I shouldn't be doing, that I don't want to do. But okay, cool, I'm going to just, I'm going to observe it and just let it go by. Because you see what I'm saying, in meditation the whole point is to focus on your breath, but then all these thoughts keep arising, and like you literally have to, like, okay, never mind, like you have to, focus, you have to take your attention away from the thoughts, and you have to get back to breathing. So you're literally each time you get distracted and you realize that you're having these other thoughts, and then you go back to breathing, that's like a rep, it's a mental rep. So you keep doing that, right? And you get better at just letting the thoughts, either ignoring them or blocking them, or just, oh, doesn't even phase, you don't even react to it. You see what I'm, so you become non-reactive and you make better decisions. So that's why I think meditation, certainly it's helped me so much. And it's not just with binge eating, with everything. I certainly think that it's such a great thing to do, even if it's just like 3 minutes. That's how I started. I would just, do 3 minutes every day, and then I worked my way up to 5. Now I'm doing 10-minute sessions every single day. So yeah, meditation's a big one. The other thing I started doing was yoga, and this helps me a lot too. Literally, ask ChatGPT. Yoga actually helps you with your cortisol, right? So a lot of the time when your cortisol spikes, you end up, just basically means that you're stressed out. You're gonna want to like get some dopamine. Some people will drink, some people will do drugs, some people will binge eat, some people do all three. And yeah, this is the reason that you want to be able to control your cortisol, and they say stress kills, and it absolutely does. And the thing about yoga and all this zen type meditation, yoga, all these things, it really just like lowers your cortisol. It makes you feel better, it makes you in a better space, it makes you uh it just fixes you, man, mentally. I'm telling you, like, literally, just chat gpt the benefits. Let me see if I still have that here. um nope. Anyways, yeah, just take my word for it. Go and chat GPT the benefits of yoga. One of the benefits actually is it does actually decrease your appetite. Okay. And depending on how bad, I was going to say this too, as far as when it comes to decreasing your appetite, definitely do your own research, right? But a lot of people are doing GLP-1s, GLP-3s as well. So there's like, the Manjaro, Ozempic, Redditute, whatever, Retatrutide. Actually, I don't even know if I should be saying this because I don't want to get my video banned or reported or whatever. But that's like, honestly, most of you guys probably don't need that. But like I said, it just depends on how bad you're stuck into this cycle. And you know I don't, there's that one show, this My 600 Pound Life. Like, man, I don't know why they're not giving those people those type of treatments. But like I said, I think it's more of a mental thing. I don't really think it's hunger at that point. And even with myself, like I certainly, at the end of the day, I was eating enough calories to keep me or to keep me satiated, but it was just like a mental thing. How I used to use it as like a stress reliever. But anyways, water. Okay, drink at least a gallon of water every single day. The other thing I was gonna say is a lot of people like to do like the crash cardio. Like, I certainly have been guilty of this, where I would go do like, an hour of Stairmaster on like level 12, and then I would go to boxing and stuff like that. That is gonna kill you, man. You are going to actually end up raising your cortisol, and you're gonna get even more hungry, and you're gonna end up eating a lot. Steps is the way to go. Walking. I'm gonna tell you right now, the most success I ever had losing fat and weight, it was walking. It was getting my steps up, and it was fasting. Those two right there, literally miracle, stronger than any drug or any of that stuff, man. Walking and fasting. Seriously, I just watched I read a book about walking. I forgot what it was called, but then I also watched a documentary about fasting, literally fasting the healer within. Go check that out on YouTube. Amazing. But this was in the summertime, man. Oh, see, now I live. How should I say this? There's like a really nice road right by my house that I love to walk, and it's just in the summer, man, when the weather's nice and the sun's out, like literally I would just grab my headphones, I'd take my shirt off, and I'd go walk for like an hour straight like it was nothing. You know what I mean? And I would do that twice a day, and I would be fasting. And to be honest with you, it wasn't really like that hard. Like I was pretty much like I was enjoying every second of it. I was sweating a lot, of course, and I was getting tan too at the same time. It was awesome, man. And I was getting like natural vitamin D, stuff like that. It was just amazing, and I lost so much weight doing that. And to be honest with you, it definitely helped me decrease my appetite and not binge. And I'd be ready to go to sleep. That's another thing too, is if you struggle with like nighttime binging, man, take your butt to sleep. You need to replace that bad habit, okay? Some stuff that I like to do is be on a routine, okay? When it comes to sleep, first of all, don't take caffeine too close to bed, okay? Also, don't drink too many liquids right before bed either, because then you're gonna like be up peeing all night. But that being said, though, diet sodas, carbonated drinks, sparkling water, stuff like that, sugar free, of course. Always get sugar free. That also helps me. I'm not gonna lie, man. I drink a lot of sparkling water and a lot of diet soda, especially because I be fasting, And gum, sugar-free gum, sugar-free mints. I keep sugar-free mints next to my bed. Okay. Anytime I get the urge to binge or order Uber Eats or something like that at night, I literally will like put 4 or 5 of these sugar-free mints in my mouth, and I'll just literally suck on those. And the mint actually makes your mouth. It kills the hunger and it makes your mouth super numb. You could take a hot shower, everything like that too. Uh, you know what? At night, in my bedroom, I'll literally be laying in bed and I got my TV on, whatever. I got these days when I'm locked in, it gets a little boring, especially towards nighttime. So I got like the HBO, Hulu, Disney Plus, whatever, Netflix, cable, all that good stuff, right? But like I'll keep the light on and I'll watch something, whatever, until I get sleepy. And then when it's time to sleep, all lights off, and yeah, I try not to look at my phone or any screens or anything like that. I fall asleep pretty quick. But I also use the nasal strip, and then I'll use mouth tape, and I also wear like a sleep mask. I have the fan on. I keep the my room nice and cold. So all these things definitely help, man. And let's see. I said the drinking a lot of water. I diet soda, the mints, the gum. Oh, you know what? I don't really do this anymore, but I used to take apple cider vinegar like twice a day. I would take a shot of it in the morning and then a shot at night. That instantly kills any desire to eat. I'm telling you right now. That's a strong one. But obviously you don't want to do it for like too long. You only want to do this for like maybe a month or two max. 2 months, 3 months. But yeah, because you'll end up, it's very acidic, obviously, and it'll mess up your stomach lining and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, that's just my own tips. That's my tips on how to defeat binge eating. Like I said, it's more of a mental thing. You're probably using it to, tolerate stress and stuff like that, and to get a dopamine chase, dopamine release, and whatnot. So, like I said, it's more of a mental battle than anything. And, the fact that you're even watching this video and you're taking advice from someone that was able to better their uh, battle with binge eating, you're already in the right direction. So, I wish you guys the same success as I've had, and you've got this. Just keep in mind all the tips that I gave you guys today. So, also, before I let you guys go, check out our sponsor, Credzly.com. Also, please scroll down, like, subscribe, leave a comment, follow me on social media, and check out my school community link. Like I said, it's a paid school community. And yeah, a lot of good stuff in there. Thank you for watching, guys.